Hello everyone, and welcome to my Update US Gossip channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kody Brown's behavior over the past several seasons of Sister Wives has increasingly led fans and critics alike to question whether a midlife crisis is at the heart of his apparent failures that manifest in both his personal relationships and his public decision-making. Over nearly 2 decades on the show, Kody has been cast as the charismatic patriarch of a sprawling, complex family, a role that required him to balance the often overwhelming demands of managing a polygamous household under constant media scrutiny. Yet, as he has grown older, there is mounting evidence that his actions and choices have been increasingly influenced by the turmoil and uncertainty that can accompany a midlife crisis. In many ways, Kody's midlife crisis may be a critical lens through which to view the decline in his ability to connect meaningfully with his family, particularly when his decisions seem to favor his own ego and personal validation over the well-being of those around him. Critics argue that Kody's repeated patterns of deflection, shifting blame onto his wives, especially Robyn, for financial missteps or family discord, reflect an internal struggle to reconcile his long-held image as the strong, infallible leader with the vulnerability and uncertainty that often come with middle age. This crisis appears to be compounded by the relentless pressures of reality television, where every personal failing is magnified by the cameras and every misstep is broadcast to millions. Under these conditions, Kody's efforts to maintain control and preserve his public persona can become overcompensatory, leading him to adopt behaviors that, rather than unifying the family, only serve to deepen the fractures that have long been present. Observant fans have noted that moments when Kody seems particularly self-absorbed or defensive, instances where he defends decisions with phrases that imply he is the only one capable of steering the family ship, carry the hallmarks of someone grappling with the existential doubts and insecurities characteristic of a midlife crisis. At the heart of this phenomenon is a profound internal conflict. In his earlier years, Kody's leadership was marked by a blend of warmth, pragmatism, and a willingness to shoulder responsibility. Over time, however, as the family dynamics shifted and external expectations grew ever more intense, his public statements and actions began to reveal an increasing preoccupation with self-preservation. Many fans have interpreted his recent admissions and on-camera defensiveness as indicative of a man who is struggling to adapt to the reality that he is no longer the invincible figure he once portrayed. The midlife stage is often accompanied by a reckoning with past choices and a sense of lost opportunity, a realization that the dreams of youth may be giving way to the limitations of age. For Kody, this internal struggle seems to have manifested in his interactions with his wives and children, where instead of fostering open communication and shared decision-making, he increasingly resorts to blaming external factors or deflecting responsibility altogether. Financial pressures also play a significant role in the narrative of Kody's midlife crisis. The Brown family's assets and business ventures, once sources of pride and stability, have come under scrutiny as market fluctuations and internal disputes have forced difficult decisions regarding property management and resource allocation. For many fans, Kody's inability to secure the family's financial future, coupled with his persistent need to project an image of authority, suggests that his personal crisis is intertwined with a professional and economic one. In an industry where success is measured not only by personal charm but also by the ability to manage complex financial portfolios, Kody's recent missteps may be interpreted as symptomatic of someone who is increasingly overwhelmed by the demands of his role. His apparent inability to balance the competing priorities of family, business, and personal image serves as a stark indicator that he may be grappling with the kind of midlife disillusionment that forces individuals to cling to outdated methods of self-promotion rather than embracing a more sustainable, collaborative approach to leadership. This convergence of personal, financial, and professional challenges has not only affected Kody's individual behavior but also has significant repercussions for the overall dynamics within the Brown family. As the central figure, his shifting approach to leadership has a cascading effect on the relationships among his wives and children. When Kody frequently resorts to deflecting blame, often positioning himself as a victim of circumstances beyond his control, it not only isolates him emotionally but also creates an environment in which genuine dialogue becomes nearly impossible. Family members who have long struggled with feelings of neglect or marginalization are left with little recourse, as the dominant narrative remains one of Kody's self-importance and unwavering need for external validation. For viewers, this situation is particularly heartbreaking because it reflects a deeper, more pervasive issue: the cost of living life under the relentless glare of public scrutiny, where personal insecurities are magnified and the pressure to perform often eclipses the need for authentic connection. Moreover, Kody's midlife crisis, if that is indeed the root of his recent failures, sheds light on broader cultural themes regarding leadership, aging, and personal accountability in modern society. In today's era, where public figures are increasingly expected to demonstrate humility and transparency, Kody's apparent inability to acknowledge his own shortcomings stands in stark contrast to emerging values that celebrate vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. His ongoing reliance on the victim card and the habitual deflection of blame not only hinder his own personal growth but also set a troubling precedent for how leadership should be exercised in both familial and public contexts. For many fans, the message is clear: real change and healing can only occur when individuals are willing to confront their own flaws and work collaboratively to address the challenges that arise. Kody's reluctance to do so, particularly at a time when he is supposed to be guiding a family through the complexities of modern life, reinforces a narrative of stagnation, a reminder that clinging to outdated modes of self-aggrandizement can ultimately lead to isolation and, potentially, irreparable damage. The public's reaction to Kody's behavior has been mixed, reflecting the deep divisions that have long existed among Sister Wives fans. Some sympathize with the immense pressures he faces, recognizing that the relentless demands of reality television and the burden of maintaining a polished public image can push even the strongest individuals to their limits. These supporters argue that his struggles are emblematic of a broader human experience, a painful, yet sometimes inevitable, confrontation with the realities of aging and the need for personal reinvention. They contend that if Kody were to fully embrace this moment of crisis and channel it into positive change, it could ultimately benefit not only him but the entire family. However, others remain skeptical, viewing his behavior as a clear sign that his midlife crisis is undermining his ability to lead with empathy and accountability. For these critics, every instance of blame shifting and every public admission of feeling better than everyone is a missed opportunity to build a more inclusive, supportive family environment, a failure that, in their eyes, is directly tied to the unresolved issues of his midlife crisis. Ultimately, the question of whether Kody Brown's midlife crisis is to blame for his failures is a multifaceted one, touching on personal, professional, and cultural dimensions. His struggles to balance the demands of a high-profile reality TV career with the responsibilities of a complex family are a potent reminder that even those who appear to have it all together are not immune to the existential challenges that come with age and fame. As the new season of Sister Wives unfolds, viewers will undoubtedly be watching closely to see if Kody can overcome these obstacles, if he can transition from a state of defensive self-promotion to one of genuine accountability and shared leadership. For fans, the hope is that this moment of vulnerability will serve as a catalyst for meaningful change, a turning point that forces all members of the Brown family to engage in honest dialogue and work together to build a more resilient, authentic future. In the end, Kody's midlife crisis, with all its attendant failures and flaws, may be the very crucible through which he must forge a new understanding of what it means to lead, love, and grow in an ever-changing world. Below is a comprehensive 1,500-word analysis exploring the allegations and controversies surrounding claims that Meri Brown baited both Robyn and Kody Brown. This narrative draws on multiple layers of the Sister Wives saga, from on-camera moments and behind-the-scenes rumors to the broader dynamics within the Brown family, and reflects the passionate debates among longtime viewers. For many fans of Sister Wives, the intricate web of relationships within the Brown household has always been a double-edged sword. On one hand, it has provided a rare glimpse into the challenges and raw emotions inherent in an unconventional family. On the other, it has been a breeding ground for conflicts, shifting alliances, and perceived betrayals. In recent episodes, whispers have circulated on fan forums and social media that Meri Brown, one of the original wives, may have intentionally provoked, or baited, both Robyn and Kody to elicit specific reactions that would bolster her position within the family narrative. According to these claims, Mary's actions were not an isolated outburst but rather the culmination of years of pent-up frustration and perceived neglect that had left her feeling marginalized as the family dynamics evolved. The roots of the controversy. Many viewers argue that the seeds of this controversy were sown long before the current allegations emerged. Over the many seasons of the show, the relationships between the wives have been in constant flux. Initially, the sister wives were portrayed as a united front, supporting one another through the many challenges posed by polygamous life. However, as new members joined the family and power dynamics shifted, tensions began to surface. Fans have noted that while Mary was once seen as one of the stabilizing forces in the household, her relationship with the other wives, particularly Robyn, became increasingly fraught as personal ambitions and insecurities came to the fore. The claim that Mary baited Robyn and Kody suggests that, at a critical juncture during a family meeting or a candid confessional, she deliberately made remarks or took actions that would force a reaction from both her co-wife and her husband. In the eyes of many fans, this tactic was a calculated move, one intended to assert her own agency and remind everyone of her long-standing role as one of the original pillars of the family. When Mary appears to call out or challenge decisions that have marginalized her voice, it is seen by some as an effort to disrupt the emerging power structure that favors the newer dynamics, particularly those revolving around Robyn's increasing influence over Kody. On-camera moments and social media reactions. Supporters of the baiting theory point to several on-camera moments that have been dissected by the fan community. In one notable instance, during what was meant to be a routine family discussion about finances and future plans, Mary's tone shifted abruptly as she questioned the logic behind decisions that appeared to sideline her input. Observant fans noted that her expressions and body language during this exchange seemed deliberately provocative, an invitation for Robyn and even Kody to defend the status quo. These moments, when isolated from their full context, have been edited and replayed on social media with hashtags such as #MaryBaited and #WakeUpBrown. Longtime viewers recall similar incidents from past seasons, where Mary's seemingly offhand remarks would spark heated debates among the wives, leaving many to wonder if she was intentionally stirring the pot to regain some control over the family narrative. On platforms like Reddit and Twitter, fans are split. Some express outrage that Mary would resort to such tactics, arguing that true sisterhood should involve solidarity rather than provocation. "How can you bait your family when you're supposed to be united?" one fan wrote. Others, however, view her actions as a natural reaction to years of feeling undervalued. They contend that if the family's internal issues had been addressed more equitably, Mary wouldn't feel the need to take such drastic measures. This polarized reaction highlights the complexity of the situation. While some see her behavior as an intentional, calculated move to reclaim power, others interpret it as the inevitable outcome of deep-seated frustration and hurt accumulated over years of navigating a volatile, constantly scrutinized family life. The dynamics of power and control. At its core, the allegation that Mary baited Robyn and Kody is intertwined with broader themes of power, control, and identity within the Brown family. In the intricate ecosystem of sister wives, every action is loaded with symbolic meaning. The internal dynamics have long been characterized by subtle struggles for dominance, where new alliances form and old bonds are tested. Over the years, Kody's increasing focus on the newer wives, particularly Robyn, has contributed to a sense of disenfranchisement among some of the original wives. Mary, who has always been known for her unfiltered honesty and quiet resilience, has often found herself on the outskirts of these shifting alliances. When allegations arise that she deliberately baited her co-wife and husband, it is interpreted by fans as a desperate bid to reassert her significance, an attempt to remind everyone that her voice matters in a family that has, over time, seemed to favor other narratives. Critics of Mary's actions argue that this tactic only serves to deepen the existing fractures within the family, as it reinforces the notion that loyalty is negotiable and that every conflict is an opportunity for personal gain. They maintain that in a healthy family dynamic, disagreements should be resolved through open communication and mutual support rather than through calculated provocations designed to elicit a reaction. In this light, Mary's alleged baiting is seen as symptomatic of a larger issue, a breakdown in trust and genuine dialogue that has plagued the Brown family for years. It is not simply about one woman trying to get attention, it is about a deeply entrenched pattern of behavior where personal ambition trumps collective well-being, and where every interaction is a battleground for asserting control. Emotional fallout and the long road to healing. The emotional fallout from such internal conflicts is profound, not just for the individuals directly involved but also for the family as a whole. Janelle and other wives have, at various points, expressed feelings of hurt and betrayal when their opinions were dismissed or when they were left out of critical conversations. For fans who have followed the Brown family for nearly 2 decades, the idea that Meri would throw Janelle under the bus or bait Kody for reaction is a bitter reminder of the unresolved tensions that continue to simmer beneath the surface. This cycle of provocation and blame only serves to widen the emotional gaps among the family members, making reconciliation ever more difficult. For those who believe in the possibility of healing within the family, there is a growing chorus of voices urging all parties to set aside personal grievances and work together to address the underlying issues. They argue that the recurring conflicts, whether they stem from calculated provocations or from genuine misunderstandings, are ultimately counterproductive, and that if the family is to move forward, there must be a collective effort to restore trust and rebuild bonds. Meri's actions, while controversial, could serve as a catalyst for such change, if they lead to a deeper, more honest examination of how power is distributed within the family and how each member can contribute to a more supportive environment. However, for many fans, the damage appears to be deep-rooted, and the repeated patterns of baiting and deflection suggest that significant change may be a long way off. Production influence and the reality TV factor. It is also important to consider the role of the production team in shaping these narratives. Reality TV is notorious for its selective editing and for crafting storylines that maximize drama, sometimes at the expense of nuance. Critics argue that moments where Meri appears to bait Robyn and Kody may be amplified by editing choices that favor conflict over resolution. While this possibility does not necessarily negate the authenticity of the underlying issues, it does add a layer of complexity to how the public perceives the events. Viewers must constantly grapple with the question, how much of what we see is genuine interpersonal conflict, and how much is constructed for the sake of ratings? Even if some of Meri's actions were edited to appear more provocative than they might have been in their entirety, the recurring pattern is undeniable and has resonated deeply with longtime fans who have been following the family's saga through every twist and turn. Broader cultural reflections. The controversy over Meri's alleged baiting also serves as a microcosm for broader cultural conversations about authenticity, accountability, and the nature of public personas in modern media. In an age where social media platforms amplify every gesture and where the boundary between public performance and private emotion is increasingly blurred, the behaviors exhibited on sister wives provide fertile ground for debate. Many viewers are disillusioned by what they perceive as a continual cycle of blame-shifting and manipulation, where personal integrity is sacrificed for the sake of maintaining a certain public image. The accusations against Meri resonate not only as a critique of her personal actions but also as a commentary on the broader reality TV ecosystem, one that often rewards conflict over genuine resolution, and where every personal failing is magnified into a defining characteristic. For fans, the repeated instances of perceived baiting are a call to demand more from the media they consume, a call for a narrative that does not simply rely on recycled drama but instead encourages real, meaningful conversations about trust, respect, and the true nature of family. As audiences become more media-savvy, they are increasingly critical of narratives that seem to sacrifice substance for spectacle. In this light, the ongoing debate over Meri's actions is both a reflection of the changing tastes of viewers and a challenge to producers to present a more balanced portrayal of the Brown family's complex, multifaceted reality. The road ahead for sister wives. Looking to the future, the controversy surrounding Meri's alleged baiting of Robyn and Kody poses significant questions for the direction of sister wives. Will the family address these internal conflicts head-on, or will the cycle of blame and manipulation continue to define their public narrative? Many fans hope that this moment of intense scrutiny will serve as a catalyst for meaningful change, a turning point where all members of the family are compelled to engage in honest dialogue about their grievances and work together toward a more unified future. However, the entrenched nature of the conflict suggests that any real transformation will be a gradual process, requiring not only public admissions of fault but also sustained efforts to rebuild trust. In the meantime, the accusations that Meri Brown has once again baited Robyn and Kody remain a potent reminder of the challenges inherent in maintaining a cohesive family unit under the constant pressure of public scrutiny. For longtime viewers, the incident is emblematic of the ongoing struggle between personal ambition and collective responsibility, a struggle that is as much about the inner workings of the Brown household as it is about the broader societal implications of fame and accountability. Whether this latest controversy will ultimately lead to healing or further division is uncertain, but it undeniably adds another complex chapter to the already intricate narrative of sister wives.